the NFL has done right so far with their scheduling and primetime games. Last Thursday, we had the Buffalo Bills and the Los Angeles Rams, which on paper at the time seemed like a really good game. That's a blockbuster hit, with the Rams being the defending champs and the Buffalo Bills being a perennial Super Bowl favorite. Now, tonight, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, who has been owning the AFC West for so long, and the up-and-coming Los Angeles Chargers, who is right at the doorstep of possibly taking over the throne here based on what they've done in the offseason. And not to mention the whole AFC West as a whole is just a gauntlet, and will be fun to watch for the entirety of this season. All right, so both teams are 1-0. The Chargers squeaked by the Las Vegas Raiders, winning 24-19 last week. From the eye test, Justin Herbert looks sensational, look every bit of the person that they drafted, and probably going to get ready to pay here pretty soon. And as far as the Kansas City Chiefs, I guess no Tyreek Hill, no problem. Put up a whopping 44 points on the Arizona Cardinals as Patrick Mahomes threw for 5 touchdowns, threw for over about 360 yards actually in the air. Now, the last time that I remember these two teams meeting last year was Brandon Staley. He was the first-year head coach with the Chargers. Continuously went for it on 4th down against the Chiefs, I think at least 4 times in that game, to where they didn't get it any single time. And had he, was a little bit more conservative on those play calls, they probably would end up winning the game. But to my recollection, the Chiefs actually won that game because of Chargers being too aggressive in situations they shouldn't have been. Now, I know that's his nature. I get it. Maybe he just, really believes in go big or go home type deal. But nevertheless, we in for a pretty darn good game tonight. There's no Keenan Allen for the Chargers, which sucks for them. But I guess it's time for guys like, more guys like Austin Eckler, more guys like Mike Williams to step up, who was pretty a pedestrian last game. Palmer, I think he's going to have a big role tonight in that regard. Yeah, Keenan Allen went out last game with a hamstring injury, who was looked like he was on pace to have a pretty good game himself. Travis Kelce, that's another player to watch here for the Chiefs. A lot of people thought, including myself, that, without Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce might have a little tougher time. We know the volumes be there, but more so can he actually produce? I mean, the man had 121 yards last week. So, just keep that in mind. Patrick Mahomes, I know we talked about him just a second ago, but the fact that he's been able to spread the ball around quite well without Tyreek Hill, is not dependent on, Tyreek's special ability to separate himself from defenders and blazing speed and getting open whenever he wants to. The ball is just, going around to the open man. And actually, that's how, quarterbacks develop even more than what they do now. So as great of a passer that Patrick Mahomes is already, I mean, he can develop to even a greater one because of that. So that's kind of scary to think about. And so I guess injuries for this game, as far as the Chargers, their tight end Donald Parham Jr., he's out. I already mentioned Keenan Allen's out. J.C. Jackson, the number 1 corner in this past free agent class, he didn't play last week with an ankle injury. He had a chance to play tonight. They're going to need him by far. If he doesn't play, then I think it's going to be a long night for the Chargers. As far as Kansas City, their kicker Harrison Butker with an ankle, he's not playing tonight at all. And just, quick notes here. Chiefs have won 13 of the last 16 games in this meeting. Even though I guess, Chargers won 2 out the last 3, but boy, oh boy, that's quite a whooping there. Let's see. I guess Andy Reid is 15-6 against the Chargers in his career as a Kansas City Chiefs head coach. And I guess if we're, talking from a fantasy perspective here, of course, he's starting Patrick Mahomes, starting Justin Herbert. CEH looks like he definitely has some flex appeal, especially in the past catching a game there. They're rookie running back. Isaiah Pacheco. I am terrible with names. I don't know, so forgive me on that. But he definitely has a role in this offense. So they get by the goal line. I mean, he can definitely have the ability to punch it in. So he's worth a flex start, in my opinion, as well. Juju Smith-Schuster. I know he hasn't really been relevant fantasy-wise probably in about 2 to 3 years. But playing with Patrick Mahomes and what he done last week, pretty sure 79 yards receiving, was it like 6 catches or something like that? That lets you know that he has a role in his offense, and if you want to wait another week to make sure that it sustains, by all means, I'm for that. But if you also, need to put him out there, I get that as well. I do. So, yeah. And then, of course, you're starting Travis Kelce. Any other pass catchers for the Chiefs, I'm not really trying to, not too confident in right now. I mean, it's just a small sample size, but you still want to try to fill out everyone else to see exactly, I guess, what you're getting yourself into. As far as the Chargers, I know we said Herbert already, Eckler, of course. Mike Williams last week, that was a little concerning. Last year Mike Williams definitely took a leap as far as production because he was actually healthy. And Justin Herbert actually, has the ability to get him the ball downfield. And that's where he, that's his bread and butter, right? So I would imagine in this type of game that Mike Williams would be featured a lot more, especially if there's no Keenan Allen. So basically, if Mike Williams does not produce tonight without Keenan Allen on the field and going against the Kansas City Chiefs team that you got to score points, then that's going to be a red flag. So Mike Williams owners, you should be able to start this man with confidence tonight. Joshua Palmer, I think he's going to have a pretty decent game as well. He showed last year. He was able to step up when someone was hurt. So I do like Palmer there. Gerald Everett. He scored a very impressive touchdown last week, bulldozing a corner. I think catching maybe about 9 yards out from the end zone and just basically ran through the man to get into the end zone. That's a sneaky play. If this was DFS, maybe tournament lineups, I would give it a shot. I would. Definitely would. But yeah, this game here tonight, prime time. I can't wait for it. I wish it was tonight already, honestly. All right, so I want to talk about one other thing in the NBA world. And in case if you've been under a rock a little bit, or just not aware in general. But all right, so the Phoenix Suns owner of the NBA and also the Phoenix Mercury owner of the WNBA, Robert Sarver, basically in a nutshell, he's made some derogatory remarks, using the N-word, sexual related comments and stuff about women, and basically a lot of things you have no business saying whatsoever. no matter who you are. So the NBA, came to the conclusion that we're going to suspend you for a year, and we're going to fine you $10 million. Now, there are a lot of people that think that this wasn't enough, basically saying that he needs the Donald Sterling treatment, as in be removed as an owner from the Phoenix Suns and the Phoenix Mercury. So I guess from my perspective, before I give you Adam Silver's take on it, I mean, from that standpoint, like, I get why people could feel that way, because it's like I said, there's no room for it in society. There's no way to justify using those words, making a work environment feel that uncomfortable. Everything that you want to apply to it, you're right. There's no room for it. Adam Silver was saying that, in a nutshell, he didn't feel that, I guess, Robert Sarver was doing it in a racial manner that goes against a group of people. Then, I guess, call him a racist per se. And to remove somebody from ownership is a whole process. And at this point, it didn't, I guess, deem necessary at this point, but the guy is on notice. $10 million is the highest penalty that the NBA can fine an owner. So he hit the max there. Suspended for a year. Basically, he's giving him a verbal and a written at the same time. Yeah, so LeBron spoke out against it. Chris Paul spoke out against it. Basically, they don't agree with how the situation was handled. They are two individuals that want Mr. Sarver to be removed from ownership, just like Donald Sterling. I feel like, for me, it's like, had we not, I guess, heard the audio from Donald Sterling, pretty sure Donald Sterling would still be, an owner in the NBA. And it's like, you can get the report, but it seems like in this day and age, if there's not, an audio or video attached with it, then it doesn't get escalated all the way to that point like it should, right? Let's go back to the Ray Rice situation in the NFL. Ray Rice and his girlfriend, altercation, the whole elevator, punch, kick, whatever scene, it was caught on video. At that point, Ray Rice, ended up being blackballed out the league. Ray Rice was initially, suspended for a couple of games due to domestic violence. And then when the video came out, they tried to resuspend him again, which in result ended up being double jeopardy, so they couldn't do that. But in the court of public opinion, that's when he ended up being blackballed. He never played another down in the NFL. And so when you have actual visual or audio evidence to a claim, it just heightens it that much more, because we live in an age to where social media, can react in real time, aka Twitter, where everything is easily accessible because of the technology that we have. Everything is heightened. everything is magnified. And so for Mr. Sarver here, I 100%, get why people, feel this way. But from Adam Silver's standpoint, I can somewhat understand where he's coming from as well. Because he said, quote, "I don't have the right to take away ownership from him based on what was, reported and as far as the situation. Now, had we had more context, as in an actual conversation that was recorded or, audio or video of him doing something similar to Donald Sterling, then yeah, I'm pretty sure he'll be right out the door as well, quickly, expeditiously, without a doubt. But without that, it's like it puts you in a position because you don't want to. I don't want to say overreact, but you don't want to, just do things without going through the process. It's like you don't want to terminate someone without addressing the situation, right? Like you don't want to, if you have an SOP and you don't follow the SOP and you just go straight to the end result without following the process, it kind of hurts the whole process itself. It's like, why do we even have this process if that's what's going to happen? So, excuse me. So yeah, the situation, Sarver can't be there for a year. Now, the current employees of both franchises, now I do feel them in this regard. Like, okay, so he's gone for a year. So after a year, he comes back and, he's still, running the place, and my comfort level, isn't the same. So yeah, that part of it I do get. So it's like, this is one of those to where everyone won't be happy, but I get the majority of why they won't be happy. But Adam Silver, as a whole, as a commissioner, NBA has done a fantastic job with a lot of things in his time in charge. Everything isn't easy. He can't make everyone happy. All he can do is the best of his ability to make the NBA as profitable as possible while keeping everyone as happy as possible at the same time. It's not an easy task, but he's doing the best that he can. I feel like he's a better commissioner than David Stern. And even though David Stern has taken the NBA to newer heights, has expanded the game, but I just feel like Adam Silver can actually, connect with a lot more athletes nowadays than David Stern could. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe some other stuff may come out with this, and maybe it's revisited. And if any audio or video that comes with it, I'm pretty sure that would do it. Because that's the society that we live in. So yeah, continue to rock with your boy right here on the No Offense Radio and the No Offense Network. Follow your boy on social media at JGoodWithSports, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Check your boy out Saturday morning on the Early Morning Sports Talk podcast with my bros Brandon and Ian. Live on Facebook, 7 a.m. Central Time. Like our page. You'll be able to watch right there. Join our Facebook group. And on Sundays, got the Destination Fantasy Football driven podcast. Last week, man, that was sensational. We had so many people viewing us for week 1. We couldn't even finish the podcast. There was so many questions. I appreciate all the love there. But that's when my bros, Deshaun and Walter, every Sunday morning, no later than 7:15 Central Time, live on Facebook and YouTube. So with that being said, you all have a great one. Let's finish out the rest of this week, and I'll get at you soon. Peace.